I open my eyes and the first thing I want to do is scream. I'm flat on my back and everything seems to hurt. The trees overhead look familiar. It's a clear night sky, almost beautiful, except for the fact that this means I've been out cold for at least 6 hours. But there's something wrong. I don't remember what, but something happened in my head. God, it hurts. And a ringing in my ears. Was there an accident? An explosion, I think. I remember Dennis screaming, but after that, I can't remember. As I sit up, I notice that my hard hat has been thrown off. I look around the area, but it's not here. It feels strange to go anywhere without my hard hat, but I've got to find the other members of the crew. They could be in danger. Do you think we should look for the hard hat, or should we forget the hat and search for the crew?
So are we sticking to our previous decisions, or are we making new ones?
I think we should search for the hard hat.
You cheater. Let's search for it then.
Okay, let's search for the hard hat.
I get up on shaky legs and look around for a moment. A few nearby trees look to have been splintered and broken at the base recently. They certainly weren't like this earlier. Searching for the hard hat feels normal. It makes me feel like maybe there isn't something wrong here. I see it behind a fallen log about 10 feet away from me. How it was thrown so far is beyond me. Driven by nothing more than habit, I walk over to it, pick it up and place it on my head. Next, I walk over to the center of the logging site and don't like what I see.
Continue. The logging site looks like a bomb was detonated right in the center. I don't know where to start. The load we had managed to stack on the truck for the day is overturned. The trailer bent and logs hanging out the back. Where the hell is everyone? My head is killing me and this ringing in my ears. I can't hear anything. Not birds, not my footsteps, nothing. It makes me wonder if I hit my head after my hard hat flew off. I run through a quick mental checklist to make sure everything in my brain is still working. My name is Roger Hastings. I'm 41 years old. The year is 2017. I own a small logging company and we've been logging in the strip of Kentucky woodland for almost a month now. Okay, so my brain works. That's a relief. But it also makes me fearful because something is certainly not right here. I look around the logging site, my mind trying to figure out what has happened. Just about every piece of equipment has been overturned or tilted. I think we should look at the truck. I don't know if the debris is really going to help us.
I agree, and I genuinely can't remember what we picked last time. So, truck.
Okay, so look at the truck.
The truck. The hitch is completely broken, like it was blown off in an explosion or a really bad accident. Had there been an explosion, all of the fuel on site would have started a fire, but there's no charring, no burning, nothing. I walk through the area where Dennis had been working. From the looks of it, he'd been moving slowly. He'd only taken down 4 trees today. His metal lunchbox is open, an indicator that he had been taking an early break, but he's not here. No one is here. Where the hell is everyone? I could try to make a call on my cell phone, but its battery is already running really low. Not that it matters. The reception's crap out here. Should we yell out or call someone on our phone?
I think we should yell out, because, yeah, whoever's gonna be in here probably be in the vicinity. So, I
Agreed.
think yell out. Hey guys, where is everyone? Tony, Dennis, Frank, Joe. But their names fall flat among the wreckage. I get nothing back other than scaring away a few birds overhead. Might as well start walking and try to find some answers. The highway is almost a mile back through the woods, down the gravel road we used to reach the site. Maybe the crew ran that way for help. But why would they have left me? Were they scared? Out of sorts? Maybe I can catch up to them. But with my truck turned over on its side, it looks like I'll be walking. My God, I can't even remember what I was doing before waking up on my back. Wait. What's that? Underneath the bulldozer. Oh my God, it's a leg. It has to be either Tony or Dennis. The dozer looks unstable, like it might roll somewhere. Might not be safe to get close, but at the same time, I can't just leave him there. I think we should definitely go look and see what we can do.
Agree, especially if we're supposed to know these people.
Okay, go look.
Hey, I yell. Are you okay? Are you alive? Holding onto my hat, I skip over the wrecked equipment and stray logs to get closer. I can see a bit more of the leg. The jeans are soaked in blood. I recognize the work boots. It's clearly Tony. His leg is bent at an impossible angle, nearly crushed flat. The closer I get, the more apparent it becomes that Tony didn't survive. Should we leave the body alone or pull it out? I mean, it's supposed to be dangerous, right?
I think so. I feel like he's clearly dead, especially if the jeans are soaked in his blood. So it might be best to leave him alone. I feel like, yeah, it's probably gonna, like, yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Alright, leave the body alone. There's nothing I can do for him now. Start to back away slowly. In my shock, I stumble back, suddenly tripping over one of the stray logs. My head collides with one of the logs as I bite the ground, but my hard hat does its job. Thank God I decided to go look for it earlier. But what's more startling is realizing that Tony is dead. Looking at him, I feel something rising up in my throat. I don't know if it's a scream or vomit, but I have to push it away. If I lose my cool right now, there are too many questions that will go unanswered. Shit, I can't believe this. Tony. He had 2 boys. He coached his oldest son's baseball team. He was the hardest worker I had and was most of the most honest and reliable men I knew. This isn't right. I can't stay here. I have to find Dennis, Frank, and Joe. I have to find out what happened here. Continue.
As I walk through the stacks of logs from the last week or so of work, everything feels frozen. This high-pitched sound in my ears, it's terrible. It keeps happening every few seconds and sounds like it's coming from far away. I can't help but wonder, is it my ears or is it something else? The silence out here is creepy, and there's a smell, like the atmosphere after a bad summer storm. I might as well admit it. I'm a little scared. Everyone is missing, and it's dead quiet out here. There doesn't even seem to be a breeze to rustle the leaves and branches. My right knee hurts like hell. My head was hurting so bad before that, I never even noticed the pain in my knee. I must have heard it during during the what? Accident? Or... Wait, is that Dennis? I see him sitting on the ground, motionless, about 30 feet away. Should we yell out or walk up to him?
I don't want to spook him. He's already spooked enough.
Agreed. I don't know if it'd be spookier to just, touch him from behind or to yell at him, though.
Well, I feel like if we yell out, he would know our voice, so probably yell out.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, yell out. Dennis, I yell. Dennis, can you hear me? Dennis lets out a shout, like someone waking from a nightmare. Then he looks back at me from the ground. Yeah, Roger, I hear you. He hollers back as I head over to him. Dennis is built like a wrestler and has the tough personality to match. But in this moment he looks disoriented and even a little anxious. Though I'm glad to see him, the fear in his usually confident face is alarming. What the hell happened? What's going on? He asks. An explosion, I think, probably.
You think so?
Well, I mean, that's what we think.
No, I guess that's
happened.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good to me.
An explosion, I think.
An explosion, Dennis says. Yeah, I believe that. Why do you say that? I ask. Did you see something? He doesn't respond. Still sitting on the ground, he looks around the woods, as if he's just now understanding the severity of the situation. The equipment was overturned. The dozers too, I say, shifting my hard hat and wiping my forehead. You okay? I ask him. Yeah, just shaken up. Me too. This might have been the most intimate conversation Dennis and I had ever had. While he and I have always been on good terms, we've never been particularly close. I've always respected him, though. Sure, he's come to work a few times looking like he'd been in a bar fight the night before, but I've also seen him do an enthusiastic impression of a dinosaur as he played with Tony's kids while they waited for their dad to finish up his shift. It's then that it hits me. Dennis and Tony were good friends. I'm not sure I want to rattle him with the news of Tony's death right now. Not before we know what's going on, but he has a right to know.
I agree, he has a right to know.
Yeah.
You don't hold that kind of information from someone.
No, I'd just piss him off later to find it out, probably. Tony is dead.
So yeah, Tony is dead.
Yeah.
Tony is dead. You were upfront with Dennis about Tony. Dennis's eyes fixate on me, startled. He was crushed by the dozer, I say. Dennis pauses for a moment, like he was trying to understand what I said. His eyes narrow and his bottom lip quivers. Shit, he says. And I could tell that he's fighting back tears. He and Tony had been tight, almost like brothers. Hey, he answered quickly, as if trying to escape the reality of Tony's death. Did you see that light? No, I say. What did you see? I don't even know, Roger. He says. It was like this flare of white light came right up out of the ground, like an explosion. So there was an explosion, I say. Maybe it was the equipment, or this was no equipment. Dennis interrupts, agitated. This huge ball of light came right up out of the damp ground. What did it look like? I think, where did it go? I mean, he said what it looked like.
No, I totally agree. That seems redundant to ask.
Yeah, so where did it go?
It just shot up into the sky until it was out of sight. When? I'm not sure, he answers. But I had finished about 10 trees for the day and was about to top one. That's when it happened. You were almost done with 10 trees? I ask. Yeah, he says, looking at the ground. You know, I wouldn't want to take a lunch break until I was done. And that's when that light blew up. Why, you don't believe me? Didn't it say that he only had about 4? Or was that just for the one? Was that Tony's truck?
With the trees?
Mm-hmm.
I can't be sure.
I know, right?
I think I believe him.
Yeah, I think so too.
He seems pretty serious about it.
Okay, I believe you.
I believe you. You believe Dennis's story. He saw what he saw, I think to myself. There's no reason to lie about this. My God, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, he says. But if I'm being honest, it scared me pretty bad. And if it's all the same to you, I'd like to get the hell out of here. We both stand up and start heading towards the road. It isn't until we start moving that I see Dennis is wounded. His right side is coated in blood, the red seeping through his blue work shirt. There's splatters of it here and there, but also a very large red splotch that makes me worry. I think we should ask him if he's in a lot of pain.
You think so?
Yeah. I think it's more like... It's better to ask... I don't know. He seems kind of like a tough guy. Maybe he might say, like, just that he's fine. Maybe we should just ask how he got it. What do you think?
I would have to assume that since he didn't say anything about it, he might not even, this might sound stupid, I don't know, but he might not even realize he's got it, right? Like, I don't know. He's not acting like he's in pain. So I would ask, like, how he got it. I don't know.
I think so, too.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. How'd you get that injury?
I'm not sure, Dennis replies. I must have gotten thrown or hurt somehow from that light. It's then that I notice that the strange ringing noise is still filling the air. Hey, I say, stopping. Do you hear that high-pitched ringing noise every once in a while? Dennis looks scared when I ask him this question, and he just nods. I thought it was just me, he says. He looks out of sorts and uncertain. I've never seen him like this before. It's obvious that he's looking for some reassurance. Even though I'm his boss, there's something very unnerving about this. I guess we should reassure him.
I think so too. Especially because, I mean, like, I think just on average you're just gonna think, like, you know, you see a bright light and it's like, oh, it's probably just something weird, like, it's probably not, you know, whatever you think about it, you know, you want to be rational. So I think, like, we should just reassure him because it's probably nothing, you know?
It's probably definitely
so
not nothing.
I think it makes sense to just say, yeah, we'll be okay. Because it's like, realistically, like, you would just think, well, what's the worst that could happen? Like, what's, you know, what, like, it's not like something's gonna come for us or whatever.
Well, I mean, especially if we're supposed to be the leader here, you know?
Yeah,
it's better to be reassuring.
That's what I would think.
I just said it's probably better to be reassuring. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, it always is. We'll be okay. It's probably nothing. Let's be realistic, I tell myself. I might as well try to be empathetic. Out here in the middle of these woods, the ringing could be anything. Maybe a car alarm from the woods or something. Still, even my passive comment seems to reassured. Still, even my passive comment seems to have reassured Dennis. He looks a bit calmer, more relaxed. We both start moving forward and don't say another word. Did you try to call Frank? Dennis asks. I know he has his cell on him today. Not yet. Luckily, I still have some battery left. I pull out my cell and call Frank. Happy I didn't make the call to Dennis earlier. It rings, but he doesn't pick up. But then I hear his phone go off behind the stack of logs. Dennis and I give each other a look. As the phone goes to voicemail, I hang up, and we walk behind the logs to find Frank's phone on the ground, abandoned. We look around for Frank, but find nothing, not a single trace. It's then I notice something really odd. A 10-foot wide hole in the ground right near where the phone was. But there's no stray piles of removed dirt or rocks. It's clean, smoothly dug, cutting into the earth wide, but only a few feet deep. It looks unnatural, like the ground was just deleted, or no shovels or diggers used. Dennis walks over it. This looks like the same kind of hole where I saw that light come from the ground, he muses to himself. I say nothing. My mind is spinning, but I don't know what to think. We need to get out of here, Dennis mutters. At that moment, that ringing noise carries through the forest again, sending a shiver down my spine. Dennis is right. There's something strange going on. We might not be safe here, but that ringing sound could be a clue to where the rest of the crew went. I think we should check the sound, especially because we don't just want to abandon them.
I was thinking the same thing. I know realistically I would want to go check it out.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, if they're still alive, they wouldn't appreciate that. You just leaving.
I think you're right. Okay.
Okay, now let's check the sound.
You decided to check out the sound. Something's not right, I say, and if there's a mechanical noise like that, you think someone's out here, he asks. Maybe. I think we should at least check it out. They might be able to help. Yeah, you go right ahead, he says with a grin. I'll be here waiting for you. Better hurry, though. Dennis doesn't look like he's in the best shape to be trouncing around the forest, but we need some answers right away, too. Do we leave him here or bring him with us?
I don't want to leave him alone, especially with an injury like that. It's kind of my responsibility to, take care of him.
Right? No, I completely agree.
So yeah, bring Dennis with you. You decided to bring Dennis along. No, you're coming with me. I bend over and hoist him up against my shoulder. He resists just barely and then gives in. He's looking at me like he's terrified of me now, making a moan in his throat. We start moving through the woods quickly, with no idea where the rest of the crew is. I worry they could be in danger. Every tree out here looks exactly the same. I grew up in the country and can find my way around the forest without much of a problem, but I'm feeling dizzy. I'm leaning against a tree when I see something that has no business being out here. Our logging crew has been out here for 3 weeks, and I've never seen it before. Continue.
It's a small building, sort of like a mixture of a shack and a bunker. It looks to be made of concrete, but moss, weeds, and plain old erosion also make it look sort of mystical. It looks like something out of a demented version of a medieval fantasy movie. What the hell is this? Dennis asks.
Guess we should say some old power station, because we still want to be reassuring.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Dennis shakes his head. Why would one be way out here? He's right. I can't come up with a legitimate reason for something like this being here. Do you think the others maybe went in here? He asked nervously. Why would they do that? I ask. I don't know, but they aren't out here. If they aren't outside, they're probably dead, like Tony. He looks at the ground as he says this. I want to go inside, not just to find my crew, but to appease my curiosity. That ringing noise is coming from inside. Something about this place seems incredibly strange, especially located all by itself out here. It simply does not belong. I wonder, do we knock or just go in? Dennis asks. I can tell that he's trying to make a joke, but it falls flat. I'm starting to think his humor is a defense mechanism for his fear. We both look ahead, take a moment to realize what we're about to do, and start forward. We get no more than 3 feet when Dennis wobbles. Reach out to steady him.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think... He doesn't seem like the guy who's like gonna accept that kind of help, so I think we just need to be the leader and just help him.
It's true. I mean, we made him come with us in the first place, right?
Yeah. Reach out and steady him.
I reach out quickly, straining my injured knee. I barely make it in time, grabbing him under his arms and keeping him from hitting the ground. I'm okay, he said. Just, can you help me walk for a little while? Just help me inside, please. I can't deny him his request. I've never seen him this week, and it's a little uncomfortable to see. It makes me glad I decided to keep him with me. I helped Dennis into the weird little building. The front door opens easily, even though there's clearly a lock on it. Maybe the lock was supposed to keep someone in. It's hard to tell. I still hear that ringing noise. It's definitely coming from in there. Stretching out in front of me is a small interior to match the outside. The building is totally empty. There's a concrete floor and dingy, featureless walls. There are no windows, giving the place an even more isolated feel. Still, we hear the ringing noise coming from somewhere in here. It's louder now, more prominent. The interior seems confined at first, but a small set of concrete steps leads about 5 feet down, revealing a corridor.
Sounds in this game. It's a massive corridor. In fact, like I'm in some kind of building underground. It seems to go on forever. This corridor is mostly dark, with emergency lights every 10 feet or so. I assume we're now underground because this corridor extends far beyond the walls of the building we entered. I realize that someone might not appreciate finding us here. I feel like we should tiptoe quietly, because we just don't know this place. And yeah, also we don't want anyone being alerted of our presence.
I don't know if Dennis even can walk quickly.
Yeah, that's true too.
Okay.
I'm gonna take it slow with him too. So yeah, tiptoe quietly.
I feel like a ghost, like I truly have no business being here. Dennis leans on me for support. We move slowly, our feet not making a sound. If anyone is in here, I want to make sure they don't hear us. We tiptoe forward as softly as we can. As I carry Dennis to the far end of this otherwise featureless place, I see a flight of concrete stairs leading down. I have to set Dennis down on the floor. His weight is killing me. Dennis, are you you okay? Stop worrying, man, he says. I'll be okay. I just need a minute to rest. But looking at him, I'm not so sure. I can still hear the ringing noise every so often, coming from somewhere in here. I look ahead at the concrete stairs, pointing towards them so that Dennis sees them. Can you make it down those stairs? I ask. He stands up slowly and is visibly making an effort to not fall back down. Yeah, he says, and sounds a little irritated. He starts for the stairs without me, and I have no choice but to follow. We approach the stairs, and by just looking at them, I get the sense that we're crossing some sort of line here. There may very well be no going back.
I really like the sounds in this game.
Yeah.
I wonder if the developer made them.
I still can't hear them.
Oh, I mean, like, I guess you'll hear them when the video comes out. They're just those, like, they're sort of like those sounds I was telling you about on like the melting ice kind of stuff. Like, it's kind of that. Yeah, just reminds me of that.
No, I know what you mean, yeah.
Continue. As I head down the stairs, I notice they look aged. That damned ringing noise is somewhere below, louder than ever. I feel like I'm walking down into the cellar of a haunted house, the light becoming scarce as the stairs take a slight turn. I can feel the temperature drop. Dennis makes it a few steps down before he's leaning on the wall. He's breathing like he just finished a marathon. I think we should pause to give him a break.
Yeah, I think so too. Is that what we're doing?
I think the last time we did this, wasn't I saying something about how, like, we don't really know where we are, like we should wait until it's somewhere safe?
I think you might be right. I actually can't remember which one we picked before.
I think that was what we did, yeah. So yeah, keep up the pace, like, we'll eventually find somewhere for her to sit, but it's better that we, like, you know, we have our backs to the wall and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Smart thinking.
Keep up the pace. Thank you.
We need to keep moving. I'd rather figure out what this place is sooner rather than later. As we keep going, my mind seems to lock in on the unknown fate of the rest of my crew. Frank is married, and I'd met his wife a few times, a nice woman with a huge laugh. My heart sags a bit when I realize I might never again get to hear him belting out classic rock tunes during lunch break. Joe, well, I don't know too much about him. He's 22 years old and is considering community college. His folks are deadbeats, so he's been providing for himself since the age of 16 or so. Out here in the woods, regardless of their backgrounds or ages, I am responsible for them. In the frequent visits to local bars after a long day or away from families on this risky job, I'm responsible for them. Maybe we can still find them, and still get to hear Frank singing in his deep baritone voice after a few too many drinks. I have to make Dennis stay behind me as I stick my foot out in search of the next step. I can't help feeling like a child as a very powerful fear seizes me. I'm expecting a monster to reach out of the darkness, slicing into my throat. After what feels like forever, we come to the bottom of the stairs. We're closer to that ringing noise now. A door sits securely in the wall and looks just as out of place down here as I feel. A sliver of light seeps through, illuminating the area. The door has what looks like a panel with lots of labels and lights. Small embossed print above the panel says, Level 1 Entrance Gate, Transport Sector. And there's a button with no label.
We should probably look at the panel if there's more lights.
I agree, it seems really stupid to just press buttons randomly.
No, it really does. Okay, inspect the panel. The panel looks like a diagnostic or alert system of some kind. Each label meant to communicate some status. Lockdown engaged. Experiment in progress. Shutdown engaged. Those all appear to be off, but one of the phases has a slow blinking red light next to it. The only powered light on this whole thing. Abnormal entity breach. What the hell? I slowly push the door open when Dennis suddenly steps in front of me, taking the lead. Let's go, he says. I want to find out what the hell this place is. As Dennis walks through, that ringing or beeping or whatever it is gets a little louder. The door closes behind us with a click. I can't help but notice the wobble in Dennis's step as he lets out a grunt. Are you sure you're healthy enough to keep going? I ask. It doesn't matter, I don't want to be in the woods right now. He seems scared. Something I've never seen before. Angry, yes. Upset, yes, but Dennis is never scared. What do you think? Should we say, what did you I mean, I don't think he saw anything.
What's so dangerous almost sounds like sarcastic or something.
Yeah, what did you see? Like, maybe he saw something else in the woods he's not telling us about.
Yeah. Do you want to go with that?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, boss. It was like someone had left a radio on, crackling, but we don't have any radios at the site. It was... I don't know. It was like something in the forest was moving. I give him a doubtful look, and he casts his eyes to the ground, frustrated. I know how it sounds, he says, but I know what I felt. It was like walking into a funeral parlor, feeling death and gloom everywhere. I've been so preoccupied with my own fear that I nearly forgot about the ringing noise. It had become just background noise. We take a few more steps, and I can now see where we are. It makes no sense, yet another thing that simply seems out of place. The shapes and muted colors of metal are easy to identify, but it just doesn't belong here.
End of chapter 1.
Okay, you and 76% of players were upfront with Dennis about Tony's death, as well we should have been.
Yeah, I think so. You and 55 told Dennis you believed his story. I guess different people have different reactions to someone being kind of like, what, you don't believe me? I guess some people are more patient and some people are more like, well, I don't really like people talking to me that way. I can see some people like being kind of sarcastic back after that.
Yeah. Let's see.
It's pretty split. I can understand that.
It's really closely split, yeah. You and 75% of players went to investigate the ringing sound. That just makes sense.
Seems like the point of the game.
I know, I was thinking, what if you were just like, let's get out of here, and then it's like game over, you and Dennis leave.
Who knows, maybe there's a whole nother thing if you don't.
Maybe.
You and 64% of players decided to bring Dennis with you. Yeah, it seems pretty... Yeah.
Why would you want to go
I can
it
see how
alone?
some people might think by leaving him there might give him more chance to rest, but it's like... Yeah, but then you can't watch him, and it's like, what, are you just gonna leave him to die? Maybe some people started to hate Dennis.
Jeez, I wonder why anybody would hate Dennis.
I know. Last time you were saying fuck Dennis.
I know, that was the joke.
I know what the joke was. Come on, dude. okay?